Here, AM 1450 WCEV Radio, where Chicagoland's ethnic voice and the voice of the youths. That particular youth happens to be Lucas Prada. That is off the latest CD on Ultra Records that is entitled Keep On Dreamin'. Lucas Prada used to dance for George Lamond, who of course was a friend of mine from way back in the day, and I met Lucas when he had a different name back in 1990, and now he's making more noise than any of us. This is Lucas Prada. You probably don't have no idea who he is, do you?
No clue.
Lucas Prada, look him up. Look him up, or Luke him up. Anyhow, it is Sunday, the 20th day of July, Y2K plus 8. It is Club Kids on Emaus Radio. 1 week after Tim Enkelbarger was here from the Chicago Journal. And you could actually look in a paper box somewhere on the north side. There's a scary sight. This face can be looking at you from a paper box. You guys, well, by the way, the Rickster's back. And I don't know when the last time or the first time was when you were here doing some radio work. We got to flash back to those days.
Yes, they were.
And then Samantha's here as well. They both shared the same last name of Pagan. But we won't blame them for anything. And Samantha, when you were here last, it kind of didn't matter because you didn't talk.
No, I only laughed.
You just laughed and giggled and made fun of your brothers. And the one that was missing, Alex, was here back then too. But anyhow, it's the Westtown Chicago Journal. 1 week ago today, Tim Enkelbarger was in studio and he talked to me, he talked to Israel, he talked to Misael, and it wound up on a Thursday edition of Chicago Journal. And if you go somewhere in the Bucktown, Wicker Park, Ukrainian Village area of the city, you can look at a paper box. That's some scary stuff. You don't know what it's like to look at a paper box and you're looking at yourself back. I was going to the club on Thursday when this came out, and this little old lady, I shouldn't call her a little old lady, but she's older than I am, and she says, "Isn't that you in that paper?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not in trouble." And then I grabbed about 10 of them and I went to the club, and then I shared it with the kids, and yeah, there's a nice picture of me in the front. Nice is an interesting word. And then you go to page 6, and there's Israel, and there's Misael, and they actually look like they're big, important radio people, and it was a very, very, very nice story done by Mr. Tim, so we have to thank him for that. Give him a little sitting ovation for the story. And if you cannot receive a copy of the Chicago Journal, then it might be an idea to go to chicagojournal.com because it's there as well, and the picture's not as big. And then the bonus, big thumbs up for Harv Roman. They think I'm a nice guy. I got them fooled. The Rickster and Sammy Sam are here. How are you guys?
I'm good. Actually, just working. That's all I do.
I think one of the last conversations we had with you was you and Angelina, was it? Who also just graduated from college. She invited me to her graduation, and I kind of didn't go. So this is how far things have gone. Angelina Irizarry, now a college graduate. You now working at a hospital still, right?
Yes.
What are you now, 21?
I'll be 21 in December.
Jeez. And the big productive conversation you guys had 10 years ago was whether wrestling was fake or not.
Yes.
And they were arguing about sensitive tables and ketchup packets.
Yes.
And now we still like wrestling. I do.
No,
You don't watch anymore?
No, not anymore.
Why not?
Everybody's gone.
I think Nina's on the celebrity hotline. We'll play a song in a minute, and then we'll talk to Nina. We got to talk a little bit about the big event that was held in honor of Johnny Lira last night at the Daggerberg Academy of Martial Arts. But I don't want to interrupt the conversation we're having with Rick and Sam. And Sam, I have sent your profile to the person who used to work at the other club, to the person that used to make sure that we got to Loyola University back in the day. You named your MySpace page I Love Concussion Bear.
Not I love Concussion Bear, just Concussion Bear.
So what's with all the hearts and stuff?
It doesn't mean love, it just...
Well, what does heart mean? In
Yes, it
MySpace
does.
language, it means
Yes,
love,
does.
doesn't it?
Yes.
I thought it did.
Oh,
Yes. She loves Concussion Bear.
I do love Concussion Bear.
First of all, how do you remember a concussion bear? And second of all, how many people have asked you, what the heck does that mean?
I think only one has asked me. and I told him like the story, or at least what I remember it was being.
Okay, now how do you remember the legend of Concussion Bear, who grew up to be Kung Fu Panda, by the way?
Yeah, still haven't seen that.
What is it? It's at the Logan now. It's $3. You can't get anybody to take it to the Logan for $3?
But no, so how I remember Concussion Bear is because every time we would get in the car, you would grab Concussion Bear and start messing around with him and show him the flat head from being
It
on the
wasn't
windshield.
just that. It was a stuffed animal that was in the car of the woman, Christina, who used to drive us back and forth from the club to Loyola University. And she had him squished under the windshield of the car, and his head was lopsided. And we deemed him Concussion Bear, and then we made up songs, and now he lives on
That's Kung Fu.
in MySpace history, which is actually pretty neat. So you guys are now going to be one of the rare groups that can say that you did the Water Tower Loyola University program, and you've done this one. You were flashing back, Rick, about 10 minutes ago when you first got here, and you're talking about the good old days of Loyola University. Is this now? If you read the article in the paper, I actually told them that there are kids that like 10 years ago were involved with the program, and then I'll hear from them later on, and they'll say, "Man, those days." Tell me about the days of Loyola.
Well, I mean, it was cool because we'd get there early in the morning. We'd have to jump on the internet. We're supposed to be getting
I think the
weather.
internet was just invented.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting weather and news, but we're on the internet surfing the web, looking up music videos. You know, we're doing things we're not supposed to be doing. You know, we get there, we jump on, we're talking, having a good old time, talking about wrestling. You know, all of us having a real good time. You know, after that, we get out, we're downtown already, so we go to the Water Tower, we go to the movies. You know, and it was a group of us that would always go, and it was real cool.
Now, the original crew would have been like Jason, Shelley, Anthony, Amanda. You were part of that group because, you know, sometimes you're related to people and you just go with them places. And one of the things about back then, when I talk to some of you guys, and Samantha, I don't know if this applies to you or not, I always ask them, so what did you remember about the radio station? And they rarely talk about the radio station. You know what can you guess what the thing is that they talk about?
I'm going to say going out after the radio station.
No. Donuts. They
It's
remember
true, though.
donuts.
It's true, though, because
You
we
used
had
to give us donuts, remember? That wasn't the point. The point was learning to communicate. The point was being on the radio, being cool, and having all the kids to hear your views on the news and whatever else was revolved around the world. And they would tell me, remember you used to buy us donuts? And they would take forever to pick them. They'll say 2 each, and they wouldn't know what they wanted. And it was a nice little Indian woman behind the counter. But you should remember this stuff. You should remember the communicating. You should remember the conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Samantha remembers Concussion Bear. But Sam, you don't remember anything else about the conversations we had?
I don't think so.
No, well, I mean,
I was really young.
It's supposed to be an impactful moment in your life.
And she didn't even really talk, anyways.
No,
I
she
mean,
laughed, she giggled.
and that's about it.
Well, we're going to talk in a smidge to another former club kid who was a part of a fundraising activity last night involving her father, who was a former club kid who became a professional boxer. And I know she's on hold, so we're going to play a song and then talk to her for just a few minutes just to kind of get a wrap up on the event. And then we got to talk a little bit more to Rick and Sam. And then from until 1 o'clock or so, we'll talk about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. Maybe we'll get your views on the news, and maybe you won't giggle as much as you did once upon a time. I mean, the giggling was nice, but if you listen to the tape, which actually you did, because you wound up, I'm not going to say biting it off the air, but you borrowed it
Yeah.
and put it on your own website. And
Yeah.
it's been played like 10 times. Who listens to that?
My friends.
And what do they say to?
They say I laughed a lot.
And now you're going to laugh some more.
Yeah.
Here's some musical stuff. It features Kanye West. It's 1219, Club Kids and ML's Radio, AM 1450.